we all agreed before the season that if the Sabres are going to take the next step, like Tage has to return to form from a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I still think that he's a far cry from what he was a few years
Agree
ago.
100%.
Well, at least they have put out a video kind of suggesting, and then at the end being like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, that Tage Thompson is the person who spoke to Bob Dylan. Now let's talk about the Buffalo Sabres, because Sean, the Buffalo Sabres just might be bad. We were driving the train of, hey, these guys, watch out for them. They're going to be exciting. They're going to surprise people.
I feel like you were driving the train about them surprising people. I have not felt good about this.
I knew this was going to happen. Nobody was excited about the Sabres, and then I got really excited about the Sabres, and you guys were like, yeah, why wouldn't we be? Yeah, this makes sense. And you two are in, and
I have been consistent in saying I have been in up for the vibes and the vibes alone, not hockey reasons.
I smell two people sneaking off the train.
No, we were.
I jumped off yesterday, by the way. I'm not on the train
Me
anymore.
and Sean had the same energy, which was like, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
what,
like-
am I not going to get on the train?
Because then I've said, like, I saw the video of Lindy in the black and red, and I was just like, God damn it.
I think we were both like, we're going to get on the train and we're going to be excited about getting on the train, but we're not expecting the train to arrive at the station.
But the train's going to suck.
It's going to derail.
the train
It's
is
going
going
to
to
crash.
And
big
the
time.
train thus far has crashed. Last night, the Sabres had the ultimate, we dare you to keep fucking watching us game. They're playing the hapless Penguins, who are not good. We all know that.
Mhm.
And they score on their first two shots of the game. Chase Tristan Jarry, after 3 goals on their first 5 shots. And yeah, we'll get to how they end up losing this game, but a lot of things end up happening in between. They proceed to allow 3 goals in a row to the Penguins, including a shorthanded goal. Pretty nifty.
Yeah.
Jesse Puljujarvi
Yeah,
goal.
Very nifty.
Brother.
Absolutely. That was sick.
Very nice. One of them also Geno Malkin's 500th goal
From his ass.
from his ass.
Sean, you tweeted about it, but did you have a problem with the emptying of the benches? Saw some people complaining about
Not
that.
really. It was funny to me. I tweeted. I was just like, it's got to be 2 minutes for delay a game at least.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I saw some people legitimately complaining about emptying the benches for your
it's like
500
it's a
goal.
little weird to me because like you're in the middle of a game. You still got it, but like it didn't offend me or anything. It didn't like upset me. No.
It was the 48th player in NHL history
Yeah,
to
like
do that.
it's worth celebrating.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that necessarily.
I am not going to complain about it, but similar to you guys with the Sabres train, like if someone's going to present me do they really need to empty the benches train? I'm asking how much tickets are.
yeah.
I'm
I'll
not
get on
totally
if it's free.
yeah, like I'll ride a few stops on that. It's just very and I shouldn't say this with the Penguins, but just like a little poverty.
A little bit.
Little
Well-
poverty franchise. And it was just poverty game.
It was
Because,
definitely
like,
a poverty
what the
game.
fuck am I watching? That this is a game that should have been out of hand forever ago. And now the Penguins are winning and they're emptying the benches. And it's a whole lot of like, oh yeah, that guy's on the Penguins
This
as they
was-
all come out onto the ice.
This was like the bum fights of NHL games.
Right. So I don't know if we're allowed to say that anymore, but
I don't know.
yeah,
either.
that is,
I think we acknowledge that bum fights was very problematic and canceled.
it was not a good thing.
Yes.
We are on hopefully the right side of history there. But bench is empty. The Sabres go up. Or I'm sorry, the Penguins go up 4-3 and are leading in the third period when the Penguins score twice in 40 seconds. I believe. I'm sorry, I keep saying the wrong team. The Sabres score twice in 40 seconds. JJ,
Nasty goal.
nasty goal,
He's pretty good.
and Ryan McLeod. He's pretty fast. Didn't
pretty
show his
fast.
speed on that goal, but just
Hell of a snipe.
hell of a snipe.
They took the lead pretty fast.
They
Yeah.
took yes, exactly.
He
A
sped the
fast
score.
way with Ryan McLeod. And then they're about to get out of this game that they should have won handily. And they're at least up by 1 in the final minute. And then they allow the tying goal with however many seconds left. Really kind of in slow motion. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen doesn't totally know where the puck is. He thinks he has it, so he does like the slow squeeze thing, but it trickles out, and Zucker doesn't pick up Raquel in front, and then bang. Game is tied. Obviously, the Penguins are going to win in overtime,
Yeah.
which they do. on a Sidney Crosby goal. And the call of it, I forget whose feed I was watching, but they were like, and who else to end it but Sidney Crosby? And I was like, not necessarily. This is a stupid fucking game. Just who else to end it but somebody on the Penguins?
And you don't get to say that if it's not Cody Ceci. You don't get to say who else.
You don't do who else. You don't do of all people.
Too close to the Ceci realm.
Our culture is not your costume.
Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you. Okay.
That game, like the big takeaways from that game was like, number one, Tristan Jarry, like get the fuck out of here. You gotta go get right or something. He is 12 goals in less than 7 periods to start the season.
Second time this year that he's given up a goal on his first shot.
Yes. Famously, I tweeted Tristan Georgiev, and it's a tough thing to spell, and I don't think anyone got it.
Congratulations to Stuart Skinner. You are no longer the second worst goalie in the league by goal saved above average. Tristan Jarry, welcome to the party. He's got to go down and figure it out. Number 2, that was an extremely Buffalo Sabres game. And number 3, Gino and Sid still got it.
Okay, on the goalie front, can I just say, Joel Blomqvist, who everyone knows I knew about that guy before last night.
Can you confirm?
Remember we were talking about talking about his whole situation. It's crazy.
And Dalkovich was hurt, and you were like, they're fine.
We have
like
Joel's guy.
But
we have notes on Joel.
But Joel that's just like, that's like a whole other thing that we were saying was happening. So anyway, don't want to bog you down in the Joel Blomqvist details, but we knew about him. We talked about him all the time.
A lot.
And his performance last night, you came in today, Sean, and after saying a bunch of things about the Sabres, we're like, Tristan Jarry loses job. That's my Sean impression.
He might.
Joel Blomqvist.
John does do the,
because he looked
I'm
good.
just saying.
I
He
told
might
him
have lost his job.
my favorite part, I think it was last week, we were cooking on something so stupid, and it was like very shit posty. Looked over at Sean, and he's like, they're kind of right.
Points are being made.
We gotta make a Sean shirt now that we have merch, and it's just the silhouette of. It's kind of like it's the Drewski thing. But now it's the Sean DePoints.
I saw a supercut of Drewski telling people to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that
His
before.
could have been records.
Yes. Have you seen this?
I love
No.
it so much. His could have been record things are so funny.
It's like an American Idol type thing where people walk in and they're about to do the thing, and Drewski just doesn't give them the time of day.
My favorite Drewski
it's so
clip
good.
is with Theo Vaughn. When Theo Vaughn was talking about the N-word and whatever he wants to say, he just writes it down. And Drewski's like, what the fuck? And kicks him off his Instagram live.
I love the that's gotta be racist.
Yeah, I like when Drewski is like, because Drewski ends up in situations where he's with, like, whether it's Theo Vaughn, when he was with Caleb Presley, and he's like, wait, what? Like, I can't even be funny right now. I'm so fucking confused. Like, when you break Drewski's brain,
Yeah, he's
and
just
he
like,
stops fucking around.
What's going on here?
It's amazing.
I actually think Drewski's like one of the funniest people
I
on
agree.
the planet.
I think
100%. I
my
love
guess is he would be he's like a top 3 funny hang in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I bet his stand up, if he does stand up,
I don't think he does.
I bet like if you were to tell him to like write a set, it wouldn't knock my socks off.
Yeah,
He's
but
just
if he
like a
were to
true
just
content
sit on it,
creator.
situationally funny.
Yeah.
exactly. If you were, and I wanted, this is a good transition. Sabres thing, funny or cool?
Nothing.
I don't
about
think
it.
it's funny or cool.
I don't think anything about it is good. Until they fire Lindy in December, then it'll be funny.
Shut the fuck up, man.
It's not funny. It's slightly cool because like last night's game it kind of rocked. It was a shit show, but it was a very entertaining
If you
game.
were a neutral observer, I could understand why it would be entertaining. But I don't think, generally speaking, the Sabres have played entertaining hockey. Like, I think last night was a little bit of an outlier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think with context of Buffalo and the Sabres and where they're at, like it becomes less cool and less funny.
Yeah, people just
because
feel
it's
bad for the Sabres.
layered with depression.
Yeah.
But out of context, in a vacuum, last night's game was very cool.
Can I give you a couple things that stood out to me? Through 5 games, the Sabres have the worst power play in the NHL. 0 for 15 and famously allowed that shorthanded goal last night. The only team, obviously, with a net negative power play. They are, I believe, their net power play percentage, which is like positive, negative, whatever, minus 6.7%. So on their power play,
How does that work mathematically?
because of the 15, I'm not going to know the answer, but I'll bullshit right now. 15 power plays. They're not scoring, but they are allowing a goal. And it's what?
I'm like, I could very well.
So 1/15% of the time. But then the fact that they're not scoring, I think, would also factor into it.
I'm going to maybe reveal myself as even more of an idiot than anybody thought.
Do it.
When you give up a shorthanded goal on the power play,
It doesn't count against your power play percentage.
Okay.
That's your net.
All right.
A net is like net.
I know what a net
like,
is. There's two of them on the ice, one at either end.
Yes, but net stats are fancy-ish or things that we don't talk about a lot.
Okay.
So like us not knowing about them is fine. We're clothing salesmen. Okay.
Amulet salesman too.
Dylan Cozens, 0 points in 5 games. It's exactly what I don't need for my guys, Sean.
I mean, it's what I was saying. Why I was allowing myself to kind of get excited about the Sabres outside of the vibes was just like, if the young guys take a step and Tage and Dylan get back to what they've shown they can be, and Dylan Cozens most certainly has not done that yet.
Neither has Tage, really.
Not really,
Tage,
but he's got
3 goals.
3 goals.
Yeah, he's scoring goals
Today, the one yesterday was a gimme.
Yeah, I mean, like he has not been. We all agreed before the season that if the Sabres are going to take the next step, like Tage has to return to form from a few years ago.
Yeah,
and I still think that he's a far cry from what he was a few years
ago.
Agree,
100%.
Well, at least they have put out a video, kind of suggesting, and then at the end being like, "Yeah, fuck it, whatever." That Tage Thompson is the person who spoke to Bob Dylan, which I think that would be our pick, right? Was that our pick? No, mine was UPL.
Yeah, like I think we all were wanting it to be UPL, especially after the music that he's saying his name.
That's true, right? You'd be like, "Hey, Bob, I know that your stuff is usually pretty straight, but how do you feel about maybe swinging a little bit?" I say my name a fun way.
Tage does make sense because, like, in the elevator, we were wondering how they like recognized. Like which party recognized which?
Yeah,
I can imagine Tage stepping into an elevator and Bob Dylan being like, "Oh, you're really tall." That's my Bob Dylan impression. Be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.